shell I'm living in. And if I let you in, another round begins. I'm spinning in a vicious cycle. I'm scared of doing something I'll regret. Maybe this is right, but I'm still staring at your silhouette. What if you're everything I need? A fire in my heart, the air I breathe. What if I'm incomplete without you by my side? What if I go against my heart instead of confessing from the start? What if I miss out on the life meant for us? I need you by my side.
Should I be scared? The feeling's so different now. You got me floating here, a feather in the air. Oh, but when the wind blows, will I tumble or sail away? Or would you have me stay? And what if I escape? I know
I'm spinning in a vicious cycle. I'm scared of doing something I'll regret. Maybe this is right, but I'm still staring at your silhouette. What if you're everything I need? A fire in my heart, the air I breathe. What if I'm incomplete without you by my side? What if I go against my heart instead of confessing from the start? What if I miss out on the life meant for us? I need you by my side, by your side. I'm not afraid. We found something that'll never fade. We can be ourselves and figure out the rest along the way. What if you're everything I need? A fire in my heart, the air I breathe. What if I'm incomplete without you by my side? What if I go against my heart instead of confessing from the start? What if I miss out on the life meant for us? I need you by my side. I need you by my side. I need you by my side.
A third
How
of
do
what we
you-
had the first week, but it's still
yeah,
it's still
no,
a lot
it's
of whys.
the
And
rate is
I
still
just
high.
but when and for all those people, and I'm sorry, I responded back because of racism, and then that was it, and that's all that they get. But you know,
Editor-in-chief of Scientific America, by the way, had to resign. Heard about that?
no, I did not hear about
Yeah,
that.
she called Trump followers racist, fascists, and
Oh
racist.
my God, she said something. So when someone, a science magazine said something that was true,
Yeah.
and then they lost their
That's-
job,
Correct.
that sounds about right. It's, that is the world we live in. It's awesome.
Ah.
Great.
We're live, by
Yeah.
the way. So hello.
Yeah. Well, hey, this is why I have a pseudonym.
Exactly. You
Because I meant,
speak under the
I'm
pseudonym.
so glad
can
I am
say
not
whatever
living
we
in
want.
contiguous 48 states right now.
Right.
I am so glad that
And if-
I am in the Caymans.
If you really,
And-
if anyone really wants to go to the effort to find us, power to them.
Right. I mean, you're going to have to go through. I mean,
Oh.
I got 6 different VPNs and then bouncing my IP address
Right.
over 6
Right.
continents. So
Yeah.
over all 5 continents. So
Yeah,
you know, we'll see.
yeah. If you had any hint of finding us, it'd be very impressive. And you know, it's very possible. I know you were joking last week that oh, by the way, we're we're in the same room. We might be.
We might be. You'll never know. And we'll never tell.
We'll never.
And
Never.
that's part of the magic. That's
part of the magic.
That would ruin the magic. Otherwise.
It would. It would. Oh my goodness. So we are here. It's time
Hello.
to help the masses. So Green Pants, it's
Is
always an honor and a pleasure you joining us. Thank you
It
so
is.
much.
Thank you again for having me. As I was saying earlier, going through the questions, we there are a lot of viewers, listeners out there that are a little bit confused as to
Yeah.
the state of the world. Um, can't help with any of that. But there are also people that have direct, specific questions, and those I think we can
Those we can
try
help.
to, those we can know. But you know, the answers of just the generic why is this happening?
Right.
I
Yeah,
don't
we
know.
just
I don't, I have some ideas.
I mean, we
It's
kind of know why, but we don't
but
have enough time to
we,
explain it to
we know
you.
why, but
It's
no, we
like
don't.
it's a lot of
And
explanation.
I think you know why. We all
It
know.
it starts back a long time ago and it continues still today. Is we can summarize it that way. But yes, so we're here. For all our wonderful viewers, welcome again, and we love you and respect you and appreciate you. So thank you for coming here, and especially for submitting your questions, because without your
Yes.
questions, we
have
have
nothing.
nothing. We literally have
They-
nothing to do.
Your questions are our fuel,
Right?
and without fuel, we starve.
Yes.
And starving is a slow, painful way to die.
Yes.
So if you don't want us to starve, and you don't want to see two human beings suffer and die before you,
Send us
submit
questions.
some fucking questions, please.
Send us the goddamn question.
You know, it's really the least you can do.
It's like it's please. I mean, giving back.
Let us help you.
Give back. Help us help you. Help us.
Yeah, help us help you.
Help us help you. And then Tom Cruise, and then was it Jerry Maguire? Help me, help you.
Help me, help you.
Help you.
Yes, true.
Help me,
And-
help you.
Academy Award worthy. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if I go with it. It wasn't his finest. I do like most Tom Cruise flicks, though. I have to say, as weird as
I do.
he
No,
is, I enjoy his work.
I feel the same way. Tom Cruise is definitely the weirdest actor that I actually still like.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Thank you.
Most of the
Good
time,
summary.
yeah. Whereas it's like, okay, but you know what?
Right.
I'll watch. You know what? Mission Impossible films are fun.
Right.
You know what? I'm gonna get past the fact that he thinks Xenu is throwing
the
beans in
volcano,
a volcano.
volcano
That's fine.
spirits and whatever. It's
You know,
like-
just
Again,
Top Gun
it's-
Maverick. That was
it's-
great nostalgia, man.
Scientology, Mormonism,
Um,
ranking our
yeah, there's a
religions from
Scient-
most wacky to least wacky.
there's a real gradient there. I mean, when you're jumping from the Scientology, really takes it up a level.
It really does. No, it's not.
Um,
It's not a linear graph by far. It
yes,
is, it is
yes,
exponential.
It is yes. It is similar to earthquakes. It is a logarithmic type
Right.
of
And if anyone from the
scale.
school of Scientology, if you are offended by what we were saying right now, again, we challenge you to come find us. So,
Right.
good luck.
Or yes, please submit a question, and
Please.
I
We will
be-
answer any question about your
I-
religion.
Yes, any questions that you have about Scientology, I can absolutely help
We
you
will.
out.
We
Look-
are. Yes.
Most of the predominant cults in America, I can follow that too. Jim Jones,
Yeah. We can speak pretty authoritatively.
all
on
the American
religious
weirdness.
cults.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm all about it.
Yeah, we're pretty up on that. Yeah, actually, that'd be nice. Some we haven't gotten those in a while. Some like nice existential questions about faith and religion and stuff like that. It's like that's right in our wheelhouse. We could definitely help you if you have questions or concerns about that. We can help you. But that's not today's topic. Today's topic is we have
What's
five
what's
questions.
our first question?
We have 5 questions, and from our viewers that we've selected, those needing most help, and let's jump right in.
And maybe these will expand our mind.
Maybe. Helena from Three Forks, Montana. We're off to a good start
Here we
already. Helena. Oh, isn't Helena a town in Montana?
Yes, Helena is actually a city in
Yeah,
Montana.
it's the
but Three
capital, I
Forks is
believe.
also that's Washington.
Helena. No, Helena.
Helena.
It's capital Montana. Helena. Helena, Montana.
Who cares?
Okay.
Fucking Montana. I don't give a shit.
All right, Helena says.
I mean, I'm sure Montana is a lovely place, but I don't really care which town is the capital.
It is beautiful scenery, actually, in Montana for sure. Hello. Okay, here we go. Helena. During a deep
Sky.
conversation I was having with my mom last week, she asked me, "Do you know the main role of women in marriage?" Here we go. Then she says,
God.
"To grow a man." After hearing this, so much clicked as to why all my previous relationships were unhealthy. E.g., subconsciously, I was obligated to give up my hopes and dreams to center on my husband so he could grow into the man he was meant to be and live his best life. Here's my question. what are some effective ways I can use to unlearn this type of thinking? So I asked for a religious-based question, and I was delivered.
And
Thank you.
ask and you shall receive.
I have received this
and
day.
So you have come to the absolute right place,
Wow.
Helena. I mean,
Oh, Helena,
you know,
thank goodness.
and I can say, you know, I can confirm that as a group, as a cishet white male, we do tend to reject things that are mature in nature for a while. But please understand that it is not your duty to grow us. There's not some sort of just add water in video games and, you know, you can grow a man. To me, that's that kind of like dysfunctional family model that perfectly encapsulates why America's fucked up, e.g.
Yes.
the Mormons. This is totally like a thing the Mormons would be all about. Because it's offensive on multiple levels, because
Yes.
it requires it's both sides pretending that they're getting the good end of a ridiculous reverse psychology
Yes.
experiment that assumes both participants are imbeciles.
Correct.
So you have the man being like, well, I get to be supported by the woman, and the woman to be like, back, you know, in the background, I'm running the whole show.
Yeah.
When in reality, it's just they all have the IQ of lukewarm bathwater because they're fucking Americans.
And you, as a woman in this model, are relegated to the status of a second-class citizen who doesn't have the full rights and
Right.
privileges that an actual man does. So,
But you're being told that
Congratulations.
you're in charge, you're growing the man. So, as your mom is putting it, see, he needs your help. You need to help him. So that's suggesting that you're being put in a position of power that you're actually not when you're
Yes.
being put into a subjective position. So your mom's part of the problem.
right.
And
She's part of the system, is what she is. She's indoctrinated. Drank the Kool-Aid.
So a way to unlearn that type of thinking is literally say it out loud, like
Yes.
we just did, and then think, does this sound
Like how I
rational?
want to live my life, right? And, like, is that way
Like-
how you want to live your life, you know?
like grow a man? Like it's such a absurd.
It is. It reminds me of the
Like-
what was it in the 300, right? Only true women grow real Spartan men. It's like-
Right, exactly. Well, that is true. And that just, you know, I mean, you know, 'cause, you know, I don't know if you've seen Xerxes and his soldiers, man. That was
Xerxes.
crazy. They had a
I
They had a
freaking
dwarf
I
and
loved
they
I
had-
loved that movie, by the way. I could watch that movie
Yeah,
again
it was-
and again. It was so
it was
good.
it was one of the best films ever made
It's
because it
that
was
is
over the top and
genius.
ridiculous. It
Right.
was just
Right.
it was
Yeah.
absolutely 100% fictional and in no way realistic.
Right.
Loved
It was great.
But again, the 300 is fictional. Just
Correct.
like growing a man is a real fictional concept.
Just your real purpose in life is to grow a man is a ridiculous concept. Yeah, it's rooted into the, if you look at most religions, Christianity included, right, which I'm sure is where this is coming from. Three Forks, Montana, is the whole premise of the origin stories in the Bible were that the woman is by her very nature subservient to the man. So she's
Right,
literally
because
from
she's
his rib.
part of the man.
Right.
Mhm.
She's literally from his rib. Right. And by the way, other translations of the Bible is a half and a split, not a rib. It's like it came from his side, and that got translated into
Right.
took a rib. So who did that translation, and what did they have in mind?
Perhaps King James.
Probably.
But either way, whether or not it was a split, it was still that man came out and he was
First.
good, but
Yes.
then woman
Right.
came, tempted him,
Tempted him.
snake talked to the woman, and
Her
the woman got the
boobs
man to do
and
the
make-
bad thing
right.
because of her breastises.
Yes. Her
And
breastises.
yeah,
It's really the
I-
breastises.
Yes, it's such a stupid story that like
Yes.
I don't understand how billions of people have like wrapped their
Yeah.
universe
People
around
hear it and they say,
this-
"Yeah, that's my
this-
philosophy." It's like, what? Really?
like,
now? Yeah.
like
And
that's
so-
literally how, because you can't like, what's step 2? Be like,
Yeah.
how did they have kids?
Right. Yeah.
You
La
can't,
la
you
la
literally
la
can't
la.
move on.
Right.
Okay, what happened next?
Well, the next part of the story
then-
in Genesis, if you read it, is Cain
Begat,
and
begat,
Cain,
begat.
right? Cain and Abel were born, right?
Right.
And then Cain and Abel got wives, and then it's like, wait a minute, where the wives come from? Nobody knows.
Uh,
Unclear.
Well, perhaps they were grown
Grown
out
by-
of one of Noah's sons from the
Wasn't
ark.
born yet, but okay.
There was
Yes.
some
Anyway.
that was right, but
Right. Anyway,
sometimes
it's
the Bible is obviously literal truth, and sometimes it's hard to kind of figure out how
sarcasm.
that could possibly work, and you'd almost have to work your brain into fucking knots
Yeah.
to figure out how it could possibly be even remotely
Yeah.
based upon anything
It's the
kind
most
of
absurd fucking thing.
historically
It's
true.
ridiculous. Anyway, what I was getting at was that right, even from Genesis, right, the woman was built to be subservient. But if you look throughout
Right.
the nature and the structure of the church, basically the deal is that the man talks to God through prayer, and the woman supports the man. Right. That's literally that's why women can't be priests, right? Because women aren't allowed to talk to God because they're women. They're subservient, right?
Well,
So-
and because the men who talk to God need to not be distracted
Correct.
by women. That's
With
why
your
they need to be
nonsense. You
celibate.
can't go with your nonsense. Exactly.
Yeah,
It's-
and that's why they need to be celibate because they need to just not deal with women because
Right.
Guys can get along perfectly without them. They have no
Right.
natural urges or needs, and the best thing to do is just
sarcasm.
bottle those down real tight,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then make some arbitrary rules around them.
And it ends great.
And then,
Ask an
occasionally-
altar,
you know, and then-
boy. It ends great.
and then yeah, put them in positions of power over marginalized groups.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sound good?
Yeah.
I
Crazy.
could possibly go wrong.
So let's sum this up for her. So your mother's nuts. She's indoctrinating
Yeah.
a cult. Don't listen to what she says. Think this stuff out loud, like we've been kind of talking it through. Recognize that it's an absurd philosophy and have nothing to do with it. And live your life as a strong, independent woman who makes her own decisions and can do whatever the fuck you want and be whoever you want
Right.
and support someone who
You can.
supports you in a mutually loving and respectful relationship. That's what you could do.
Or go to the store, buy a man seed, add water to it, add the video
Grow a
games
man.
and some Captain Crunch, and you fucking grow a
There's
boy.
your man.
And there he is. You know.
You made it like sea monkeys. You turned it into like
Yeah,
King Crow
I mean,
sea monkeys.
yeah. Yeah, they're desiccated, but when you add water, it's
Right
amazing.
back to life. Yes, it's crazy.
Living
It's
creatures.
crazy. Yes.
Good luck
So-
to you, Helena.
Yeah. So rationalizing your way through it is really the big things. And I don't know. Is there good reading material we can recommend? It's like
Um,
I have read a
How
book a
about-
while ago.
You might be familiar with a book called The Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah, it's a good
That
one
is
too.
not the world that you live in.
Right.
It's a fictional world called Gilead. That seems to be the world that your mom wants you to live in.
Yes.
Read that book, understand that it's fiction and that we don't actually live in that world. You can. There are bigger and better things out there.
There was one I had read a while ago. I'm looking it up just to make sure I'm not saying the wrong thing. I think it was.
Sutra?
I read. That's a good one. The Deconstruction of Christianity. That's what it's called. It's called The Deconstruction of Christianity by Alicia Childers and Tim Barnett. I have it. I read it. It's pretty good. So, yeah, I think it may help give you some perspective if you need that outside view, right? If you don't want to walk through and rationalize it yourself. The thing is, if you lived in Montana this long, it's probably all you've known your entire life, so it could be a tough thing. But again, rationalize amongst yourself. Realize that you are a
And
fully.
this isn't necessarily limited to a religious philosophy. This is also
Yes.
just a societal philosophy meant to, because even if you take the religion part out, it's still basically saying, like, as part of how we want society to work, we want the man to be in charge and
Yes.
the woman to help the man support it.
Yes.
And if feel free to reject that entire philosophy because it is bullshit,
Yeah.
and it is not something that is. So to hear that it is the point of marriage, like, why do we? Yeah, it's just. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
it's a backwards philosophy that hopefully we can flush down the fucking memory hole.
Let us
eventually.
hope. Let us hope. And so yes, so Helena, keep in mind that you are a fully fledged human entitled to all the rights and privileges thereof, equal to any man, right? And that you decide your destiny, decide who you want to marry for how you want to marry them, and someone who's going to respect you,
Or not get married.
or not
not
get
do
married.
anything.
You don't need a
Or
man,
just leave Montana.
or
Whatever.
or marry or date a woman and be a lesbian.
Yeah.
That's great too, right?
Yeah.
It's like, do what the hell you want and leave
Rest your
Montana.
life, find us. However you want to do it. You do you.
You do you.
Live your best life.
That's the key. So hopefully this helps. Helena, good luck. I know it's a tough yoke to shake off, but we have faith in you. The very fact that you asked the question means you're heading in the right direction. So kudos
Exactly.
to you. All right. Next question comes from Betty from Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Been to Portsmouth, wonderful place. I am a 33-year-old female, still new to the sexual aspect of relationships. I'm a virgin. My boyfriend is not, and he wants to take it to the next level. When I think of someone taking my virginity, I want them to be a virgin too, so it feels more special. Knowing he's been with other people, this makes me feel odd. I don't think it would be special for me. I don't want this to be the reason he breaks up with me, but I'm conflicted and don't know what to do. A part of me feels like I'm being selfish, says Betsy.
Okay, yeah, Betsy, a lot to unpack here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I-
To start with,
Yeah.
I don't. The word "selfish" is definitely not correct. I think more aptly, the word you're looking for is unrealistic. Actually, is because okay, there's a few things. The idea of taking one's virginity as if it is a gift to be given or a
Yes.
prize to be won
Yes.
is like such an amazingly toxic concept that has been used by religious institutions and peoples in power
Hey, look at that.
forever.
Looping it back
You know,
around.
it's amazing that it takes the universal urge of human sexuality, you know,
Mhm.
how we all want to fuck, and then what you do is you put a cage around that and a
Right.
bunch of arbitrary rules and be like, if you want to get to that, you got to do this and that and the other
Right.
thing. That's what's happening here. Okay,
About
your
control.
virginity is not a special cosmic thing. It's just whether or not you've had sex before. And,
I think your first time having sex does have a significance to it because it can run
it
both ways.
does.
But with that said, I would say virgin on virgin sex is typically
Right.
not good.
Right.
Typically you want to have a good first sexual experience. You want someone who's experienced. So you, in fact, Betsy, are in the perfect situation.
Yeah, I will tell you this,
I
Betsy.
think.
Watching two adult, clumsy virgins
Yeah.
in their mid-30s
Horrible.
trying to negotiate human sexuality for the first time sounds absolutely hilarious. And
Don't do it.
I would love to watch it, preferably narrated by Richard Attenborough. But
David
it
Attenborough.
would
David Attenborough
definitely
is
be
David Attenborough.
special, but it would not be special in the way that you're thinking.
Right.
So yeah, I'm with Vanguard in that at this point in your life, I don't think you want to find another virgin. I think
Right.
looking for a virgin in your age demographic is going to be difficult.
Yes.
The first part, and you're gonna want to find an experienced dude anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Definitely you
Because,
want to find an experienced dude. I do have follow-up questions for you, Betsy. Does he go down on you? Have you done that far? Because hopefully he does.
I'm thinking no.
I think he has
I mean,
to. Men,
if-
all men within the sound of my voice, go down on your women. For the love of God, please. They love it.
Oh, I thought you were asking if because I do not believe this is happening to Betsy currently. Because if she's calling sex take it to the next level,
I
and
mean,
we're in our
she's-
30s.
She's got her bases.
Be-
The second base. That's probably where we're at.
I mean, I remember taking a relationship to the next level when I was in 9th grade.
Right, and that was
Um,
anal. I know, I remember that.
But right, it was pegging.
Right.
But and I appreciate you helping me through that whole episode.
yeah, no, it's fine. It's
Meant
fine.
a lot.
It's all about
Um,
relaxing and just releasing the sphincter. It's very important.
It's we could go on.
Which is
Irrelevant. But
ninth grade. I'm sorry.
Okay, Vanguard. Anything else you want to?
I'm good.
You settle down.
Betsy.
We gotta help Betsy here.
Betsy, yes, Betsy, yes.
So Betsy, I would say if you have a boyfriend and he is not a virgin, but you guys are together, and yeah, why not try fucking him? I think that would be great. It'd be great for him.
Great. It's gonna be fun.
I guarantee he'll be a fan.
He will love it.
And then he's someone that you're already familiar with, and
Right.
I think that will getting past the whole "I'm a virgin" thing. I think part of that, I think you're still like labeling yourself and putting yourself in
Societal
that
label.
container of like I am a virgin, and you need to. So it's like just do it, and then there's no more like label attached to it
Exactly.
or a taboo.
Get
Or
it
it's
out of
not
the
a
way.
gift to be given. It's just a thing people do because we're
It feels
animals.
good. It feels freaking really good. Yeah.
Yeah,
And you want
it does.
you want experience, man. I'm
Because
telling
we're
you,
animals and we're
Yeah.
evolution's a thing.
DTF down to fuck. But yeah, and you want an experience, dude. You really do. Trust me, you do not want your first time to be with the virgin. I assure you. But I would, before you get to that point, if you still have reservations, uncomfortable, explore the world of oral in all its capacities. And
Vanguard is a huge.
I'm a huge fan of the oral. I have.
Is.
You will have a blast. I'm telling you. It's like encourage him to do that. Have that conversation with him.
Not even you're saying there is still a wide variety of things to explore of an erogenous nature.
Sure.
As far as the human body is concerned,
Right.
You know, something does not have to be inserted directly into an orifice.
Right. Well, oral. I mean, you're forceful with the tongue, I guess.
I said it doesn't necessarily have to be, but you can. But go down on your women. Please.
Go down on your women, please.
That's-
Everyone, men, go down on your women.
Otherwise,
women.
he'll never stop talking about it.
Oh my god, men go down on your women. Women go down on your women. Everybody should be doing it. Great.
We have a very strong stance
do.
on going down in the.
Because every woman I talk to, I have a lot of women friends, and they all talk to like they never get it, and it's like, greatest crime against humanity.
I just don't think. Yeah, I don't have a lot of women talking to me about how they're not getting oral.
Okay,
but,
fair. All right.
I can certainly imagine maybe that is the case, but that is the world that you live in, and I love that for you. And I'm glad that women feel comfortable confiding in you that their men are not satisfying them.
There you go.
And what are you doing about that?
I
Or are
mean,
you
it's not necessarily appropriate for me to offer my services as much as
Right, exactly. So that's what I'm saying.
I
That
don't.
just seems to be an
So,
awkward position to be put in.
I say I will speak to your man and make it and encourage him to do so. Do my part.
That could be a good side gig.
I think so.
That could be a side hustle.
Kind of like a wingman for oral.
Right. But a wingman for girls who didn't know that their boyfriend needed a wingman. So it's a wingman.
Yes.
It's like, hey, you don't know me.
Right.
I am your girlfriend's wingman for you.
Correct.
You need to get laid.
Yes.
This is
Give
how
her
this is
oral.
working, right? You first go down on her. Here's
will-
a YouTube video.
He will love you a
And
long
then,
time. And then, yes. And all will be well. Yes. Betsy, good luck. In this,
luck, Betsy.
it is a big step. Your first time.
It is not.
It is not.
It is not. It is not. It is just. It is a thing. It is a. I mean, it's just like. I mean, you can make a big deal about the first time you hiccuped if you really want to, but it's like the first time it's like, yeah, remember that. I remember the summer '89. I took the best
The
shit.
first time I shat myself out or what's the thing that you said from the pool when you puke
Listen,
and shit?
that was in the
What was
previous-
it?
Okay.
What's
That's a
it called?
deep
You had a
cut.
word for it. You had a
Bringing
word
it
for
back.
it.
When you.
Shamaning.
Oh, shamaning.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
When you hit something so
All
hard that you both
evac.
shit and vomit at the same time,
All
and everything
evacuation.
all holes just go
All-
boom. Anything that's chambered up, ready to
Out it
go,
comes.
is out. That's any sort of anything
Oh,
that is
my dear
relatively
Lord.
viscous, whether
Yes.
it be water, blood, or shit.
Yes,
It's all
it all comes out.
all goes. And it is not covered by your security deposit. I'll just tell you.
Correct. All right. Next question comes from Shannon from Grand Junction, Colorado. Shannon says, "What does Shannon want to know? How can I tell a friend I had sex with that it was a mistake? We've been friends for over 6 years, and he's really all you could want in a friend. But a few days ago, when I was at his place, we started making out, and one thing led to another. We smashed, and it was great. I already like Shannon. We smashed, and it was great, but I don't see him like that. I've been trying to come up with something to
But you
explain
do.
myself, but so far have failed. What should I do?" Shannon hooked up with a friend,
are you-
regrets it.
Are you sure it was a mistake?
She doesn't see
Did
him
you
that
say
way.
that
She sees him
you-
as a friend. She says she sees him as a friend.
Right, but she says that she doesn't see him that way, but yet they still smashed.
And it was good,
So-
she said. It was great.
And
It
it was
great.
good. So I'm willing to bet that maybe you kind of do see him like that a little bit. Like I mean,
There's a
to
difference
me,
between a potential romantic partner and buddy sex, right?
they finally put the orgasm bow on their friendship box.
Sure.
Okay, it's like when you add nut busting to your friendship bucket
Yes.
list,
Yes.
and as the end, and that's
Tell
what it
me
moves
more.
on.
Yes.
I think it's a time for celebration. Hooray! Um,
Huzzah.
So I don't know if you necessarily need to. I want you to try with your boyfriend, Shannon. I really want to see. I want to see you and your boyfriend
I don't think. See, I'm
keep
gonna.
having sex. I want to. If you just had great sex, I want you to continue to have that great sex and
I'm in
not
favor of
stop
that.
because you do not see him that way when clearly you do. Maybe try it again.
Especially if he's going down on you.
and then we come back to the
I
going down.
gotta bring it back.
It always comes
Bringing
back
it
to
around.
that.
Bringing it around. So
Doesn't matter. When talking Vanguard, it's always going to
always
loop
back
around
to the
Oral
Earl.
Sex.
But I gotta be the negative on this one though, because like
Okay.
the if you can have a very mature adult conversation and talk about, hey, that thing happened. I don't see you that way, but I did have fun. So if we want to be friends with benefits, we could try that. And here's the rules how that would work. Very important. Or you almost can't go back. Like he's never going to look at her the same as much as he says he's going to. You know what I mean? So
Right.
if you can't do friends with benefits and you don't want to be in a relationship with him, it damages the friendship. Unfortunately, I'm afraid to say that. But
Right. I mean, well, that's why I push back on the I don't see him like that.
mhm.
That's a I don't want to see him like that. Like in your head, it's like we're
Fair.
friends. I want us to be friends. I don't
Right.
want to see him as a romantic partner. However, biologically, you are still attracted to him, and
Right.
when put in the right circumstances, you did what humans are going to do together.
when they're attracted to each other, right?
Right.
They're
And
going to,
so-
as you put it, Shannon, smash.
Smash.
Yes.
So I don't think you necessarily you don't need to explain yourself, but just do what Vanguard said is have that conversation about like, okay, so
That happened.
that happened,
Right.
Like
And say to him, like, if I say that could never happen again, are you cool with that?
Right.
Right. And
or what was your find out what his because he might also think, okay, now we're in a relationship, we're in a romantic
Right.
relationship.
you definitely gotta get that part of the
Or-
conversation out of the way.
Or he might not at all be like, oh yeah, we just had sex that one time.
Right.
No idea. So
Right.
the first thing you got to do is talk to him and
Right.
find out.
And you could be
you know,
completely
and then-
fine with having sex that one time, and if you're both on the same page, great, you're done. In a way.
Right.
Right.
So when it comes to what should you do, it should be whatever that you and your boyfriend can agree on that you want.
Boyfriend. You're calling it the boyfriend.
No,
you
but that's
so
true.
you so want these kids to hook up.
I do. I just want these crazy kids to find love. No, I still think for Shannon,
love story
the
here.
best the instead of looking instead of coming at it like I'm trying to explain myself how I don't see him that way, is more of just like have a conversation about the event and see where that goes.
Yeah.
And if you don't see him that way and you're sure about it, that's fine. Then express that. Make sure that is clear.
Mm-hmm.
And if there is going to be further lovemaking, it needs to be set by a binding set of rules that are written by Vanguard. But he has boilerplate
I do.
Um,
I have various
actually-
agreements for this exact type
Right.
of
for
situation.
various. Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna have to get them notarized, signed and notarized.
Right.
No, really, Shannon. Though, yeah, I think that's your best option. Right? The secret to all relationships is communication. So you have to have a honest, mature
say it like that.
adult communication.
No,
You have to have an honest, mature adult conversation with him and say, like, exactly what we said. Hey, so that happened. How do you feel about it? I'm not interested in you in that way. How do you feel? See how he feels. Say, hey, if I said that can never happen again, are you okay with us still being friends? He might say no. Conversation's over. He might say yes. And then you figure out, okay, then here's the rules. You know,
and then
I
at
can't
that, you refer to any of Vanguard's boilerplate
contracts. Yes.
So you got everything from the 50 Shades of Grey contract
that one's
to
here.
something. Yeah, that's the 50 Shades of Grey one. That one's a little like
One.
it's a lot. So you might just want to do like a one pager.
Yeah, this
for
one's
time.
this one would actually, I think, suit your situation actually pretty nicely. Would cover the contingency plans that if he does start having feelings for you, what you do. And no, I'm kidding. I don't have that. But
We absolutely have that. And so if you DM him, he will send it to you. I'm just saying. That's fine.
no.
Yeah.
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 So, but remember, like, if you got to gauge his reactions, right? Because, like I said, it's going to be very difficult if you say, okay, it's done. We're going to stay friends. He's probably not going to look at you the same, right? Because he's going to be like, ooh, next
Right.
time she's in a moment of weakness or a part of a relationship, I'm going to make my
Right.
move and we're going to have sex again, right? Even though you said, I don't want to have sex again.
Right.
He might think like, oh, we're going to have sex again someday.
Also, like, was alcohol involved here? Was it not? Because it was like lowered inhibitions. Because if this was done,
Right.
because
Good question.
if it was, because if there was alcohol involved, that sometimes, definitely make a difference, especially
Mhm.
amongst the But if you were both like perfectly sober and just decided to hook up, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, whatever situation that was, clearly, you know, you're
Yeah.
attracted to each other. So
Yep. Exactly.
please continue to have sex with each other and make sure that happens, because that is what the world needs.
If you can make the friends with benefits works, then you know that's the nirvana, and power to you.
That's the nirvana.
It's great.
Is the official policy of OK Seriously that having friends with benefits is the nirvana of the human experience. And that is when Buddha talks about
I was thinking of spiritual enlightenment. That's what he meant. Buddha, what's the nature of spiritual enlightenment? Friends with benefits.
Friends with benefits.
With no downside.
You can be really good friends with someone and
Yeah.
still get
And smash.
That's
As
great.
yes.
Great.
Yes. All right,
as
Shannon, good
Shannon
luck.
so eloquently puts it.
Oh my god, Shannon,
So,
good
yes.
luck.
Good
All
luck,
right,
Shannon.
next one comes from Grant from Ames, Iowa. Grant says, I've been with my girlfriend for 5 years. We live together and have a dog too. She recently underwent surgery for a ruptured appendix. While recovering after the surgery, she was given some sort of heavy painkiller which probably made her loopy. I was just outside the room and overheard the nurse ask her, Where's your boyfriend today? To which she responded, No clue, I never loved him anyway. Now I'm second guessing everything and reading into her acting distant recently, or if it's all in my head. What should I do?
Okay.
Grant.
Is she still in the hospital? Grant? Okay. Sell all her shit on Amazon Marketplace, take the dog, and go. Take your cell phone,
Take
throw
the
it in a river.
dog.
If the dog is chipped, take out the chip,
Oh my god.
throw it in the river with your cell phone, start over, new life. Go Grant. Ames, Iowa. It's a big college town. You could probably find someone, or better yet, just move on out of Iowa.
There you go.
Or
Or
it could be that maybe she was just on a really powerful narcotic and
Correct.
was
that's the angle I'm going to go with.
saying, I mean, I confessed my love to my oral surgeon when I had my wisdom teeth out.
Right.
And I mean, we went on like 3 dates before she realized that she shouldn't be dating a 10th grader, but
Right.
it did end quickly. So
I remember floating with the nurse in my colonoscopy.
Yes, because if people will say all sorts of things when something is up their ass.
Yeah, and you're given the loopy meds. Yeah, it was kind of crazy.
Yeah. So, yeah, I would, I'd probably. Like, do you think she should even mention it? Like, I wouldn't even. I would just forget that. I'd be like,
Forget it
nope, you
happened.
never heard any of this.
Forget it happened.
Or whatever.
If she really meant what she said, you're going to get other clues. So
Yes.
don't take that one thing to be anything. So it's you're reading too much into it, Grant.
For example, when she's feeling better, say I love you, and if she says I don't love you,
Right.
then you will know.
I hate you and I can't stand your
And,
presence.
and she goes, "Why did you say that? I don't even want to go out with you.
Right.
Why are you at my door again?"
I don't even know why I'm here.
Then
I want my dog. Right. And then
exactly. Can I please have the dog that you
Can I
stole?
please have the dog.
That would be.
Right. The dog also hates
Um,
you and wants to leave.
So you got a couple options here, Grant. You can go the paranoid way, which is basically being like, "Yep, 100%, whole time, never loved you. She hates your guts.
Yep.
Get out, grab the dog, run away, start your life anew,"
Yep.
or
Or
pretend it never happened.
which I choose
Those are your
B.
options.
Choose B, dude.
That, yeah. A or B, buddy. And
You
I
can't.
think both on this end, both Vanguard and I are recommending option
We're,
B.
we're on board with this option B. Yeah. So you're reading too much into it, dude. It's one statement while she was probably under the effects of some loopy drug, and don't worry about it,
But
man.
I do would change the recommendation based upon further evidence, such as her telling you to your face that she hates your guts.
I mean, I think right, but I think one thing he could do is give her more oral.
Right. I mean, because it all comes back to that.
It really does.
It always does. I mean, in all of these situations, it's like, if
Yes.
Betsy's not even. I think if the mom had been given more head to start with, she would not have put
Told her
Helena
daughter
in a
that
situation
exactly.
where she had to grow a man, because she would have been pleasured by her
Correct.
husband, and so she would not have
Correct.
come up with this bizarre philosophy
Correct.
that is still, banging around Three Forks, Montana.
Three Forks, Montana.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So,
Grant, all right, I back off on the oral comment on this one, but again, option B remains our true advice, which is like, you're reading too much into this. Don't worry about it. Don't question your whole 5-year relationship because of one sentence she said. not
Right,
the way to
exactly.
go, dude. You're gonna get more clues if she's really nothing into you, dude.
Right.
You're gonna get more.
And
clues.
if you give her head, you will get even more clues, and you will find out quickly whether or not. Or you might even change your mind. Maybe she didn't love you. Maybe she will now. You know,
after you give her the oral.
yeah, exactly. You know what?
The magic
Change some hearts and
elixir.
minds, buddy.
It's a magic elixir, hearts and minds. All right, we're moving on.
That's what we do.
So,
Bottle here's our cakes.
our last question comes from Erica. Erica's from Marshfield, Wisconsin. Hi guys.
Great.
So I'm a female, and sometimes after having an intimate moment with my boyfriend, I fart from the front. Okay. I know it's normal, but it's super embarrassing to do so in front of him. Do men think it's vile? Any advice on how to stop doing this? Came to the right place.
Okay.
Erica.
Yes. It is called a queef.
Yes.
It is known as
the
vaginal
clinical
flatulence.
term. Clinical term.
Or
is the
it is
queef.
sometimes called a vaginal fart or a
Correct.
vart.
Correct.
But do men consider it
The
vile?
fart.
Men are just probably excited that they're having sex in the first place.
Correct.
And the vaginal flatulence is not going to be up there on anything noticeable, other than
Correct.
the fact that when you move that air pocket, it just makes more room in there.
If, however, he was giving her oral, I want to loop this back to the last question, and she does it then, that would be a thing.
No, okay. First, okay.
It wouldn't be. I would be
When
like,
he
okay.
says we're having an intimate moment.
Yes, I assume intercourse.
Intercourse, okay.
That's what I'm assuming.
I thought you meant I thought you were saying if the intimate moment was, as everything does, go back to cunnilingus.
If it was, I think it's a difference. If it's vaginal intercourse, I think no problem. It's natural. Guys are gonna pretend they don't notice it. It's not a big deal. Carry on.
Right.
But if he's
But
giving
it's not
her
a big
oral,
deal regardless. It is just it's an air pocket.
yes,
Of like
agreed.
it's just so. First of all, if he's giving her oral, that normally wouldn't be a problem because there's not a change in pressure.
Right.
Let me explain how sex works.
No, I know. Oh, believe me.
Okay. Okay.
It's
Okay. All right.
good there.
All right.
Dear
I'm
Lord.
starting to think that you draw the line and going
Dear
down.
Lord.
And that's it. I'm just saying because
I admit it's unlikely it would happen during oral, but I'm just saying I would be
But,
like if it was me and if I was the woman and if I queefed while I was getting oral, I would feel a little embarrassed.
fair.
Yeah.
But if you want to feel embarrassed, that is fine. But it is completely harmless, not
Agreed.
something medical. And honestly, if you really want to have a build your pelvic floor so that you never queef,
Yes.
Kegel exercises.
Kegels, yeah. The Kegel's fantastic.
Kegels. That is
Amazing.
it. Literally will it will strengthen that part.
I
so
do
that-
them.
I watch you do them. I mean, yeah, I get it. I mean, it's something to behold.
that's you gave a TMI there, my friend. I don't know if
Yeah, no,
yikes.
I didn't
Yikes.
know that I watched. That's when I.
Ooh.
Now you made it awkward.
Hopefully Mrs. Greenpants doesn't watch this one.
You did that. You made it awkward.
I
You did
made that happen.
Not me. Just saying.
Woo.
But it is again perfectly natural.
Yes.
Men do not find it vile. I would not say, especially considering the fact that if it ever happens, if they're having an intimate moment, hey man, they're
Right.
having an intimate moment.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
they're already psyched.
We are very focused on that
You know,
action, right?
right.
And
Very single-minded.
here's a trick. Here's a trick
or-
about men in general. There's only enough blood in the male body to either feed this or down there, not both.
Our head's always in one place.
Correct.
Or it's in, it's out. It's in, it's out. But either way, it's not doing
not
a lot
thinking
of
about
soul searching, or
Right.
It's not even picking up a lot in its peripheral.
I'd be
Just-
more disturbed as a dude, and not even that disturbed, because still it's a natural bodily process, right? If a woman actually farted, I'd be like, oh, okay, women fart, interesting. You know what I mean? Which of course they do.
Have
but-
you never heard a woman fart?
I have, but it's always been like, oh, it like where queef would not phase me. A fart, and maybe I'm being a little biased there, but
that does
I
sound
know.
like that
I
you're
gotta
being
check, I
biased
gotta
and
check my
that,
bias. I
you
gotta
know,
check my bias. Being honest, that's
that,
what I do.
Women are human beings. Just
Women
like
also
us,
poop.
and
Everyone poops.
everybody poops.
Everybody.
I have the book.
Everybody.
We gave it to both of the Green Pants children.
Oh, good.
You can feel free to borrow it if you want.
No, I also have a copy of Everybody Poops.
Oh, okay, have you read it?
I have.
So
My
why does female farting
conclusion
excite you
is
so much?
everyone poops. What's that?
Right. But that when women do it, it's gross.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Pretty much.
It's
I,
gross.
I'm working on that. I'm working.
But yeah,
on that.
exactly. We all have our things to work on.
Yeah.
You know what? I mean, you know,
I think it's because of.
I don't like the fact that
Okay.
ladies are working out there. You know.
Whoa,
Wearing, you know,
you took it
they're
to the next.
wearing
it's like,
pants.
what?
I mean,
wearing pants.
wearing pants, wearing buttons that don't have to be done up by someone else. It's
Oh
buttons
my
you can do up on
goodness.
your own, opposite. You know,
Oh my
no.
goodness. Is that why? Actually, that's a really good observation. I never noticed that. Is that why?
Yes, that is exactly
That's
why.
the historical
Yes.
reason why the buttons were. So what we're talking about right now is
women's clothing are designed to be put on by someone else.
Interesting.
Men's clothing are designed to be put on by themselves.
interesting. So women's, if anyone ever noticed, women's button shirts are on the opposite side as men's button shirts and green pants or something. I didn't think of that. That's interesting.
Yep.
I thought it was be able to tell the
And
difference
why
between shirts.
Why it's held over? It's been
Yeah, it's
that's
always
the way
been.
that it's always been in fashion, and so they've never changed it.
Wow.
Which is why it's always so ridiculous that like with women, it's always like, hey, can you zip me up? Or can you help me with this? Like, there's no male outfit where you really like you can get a tie adjusted, but everything is made so that you could do it all
Do it yourself.
by yourself.
Yeah.
It doesn't assume
What
a
does
partner
What does
to
that say
help
about
you.
right? What does that say about
Exactly.
what's that say about the patriarchy? Right? It's
Exactly.
like, we can dress
I mean, this
ourselves
garment
and we can pee
cannot
standing
be
up
worn without assistance.
without a person to help you. Yeah.
Right.
Jesus.
Like,
Without a servant
are-
that your husband paid for, perhaps. Or something.
Right. Like you aren't even able to dress yourself.
Right.
Without,
Right.
you know, assistance.
Like, poor
so
thing.
we'll-
You get some help with that.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
The corset
So-
and the whole. Yeah, you're right. It's a very good point. Even our clothing is sexist. Jesus Christ.
Right. It's everywhere, man.
No escaping it. No escaping it.
Um.
But yeah.
And
So
our queefing,
your
and our-
queefing
and our
is fine. Yeah, Erica, don't worry. Your queefing is fine. You're not.
You're fine. Queef all you like. It's
Carry
it's you know, varding is a perfectly natural thing.
Do not be ashamed of the Vart.
The vart, exactly.
Correct. Okay.
All right, man.
Fantastic.
It's speed round.
Are
I
you
think that was our last question.
sure it's speed round? Oh, it is, dude. Speed round. Okay.
I think it is speed round.
Yeah, it is. All right. So let me get the timer set up here. So for those of you not familiar with the show, I'm gonna get it's Green Pants' turn. Don't try to put one back on me, dude. It is your turn.
Yes, I tricked you last time, but no, this time I will answer the questions.
You will, as you must.
will-
So we have 1 minute on our timer. So these are 5 rapid fire questions. We're going to throw to Green Pants. He's going to answer all 5 questions in 1 minute, which means you get an average of how many
25
seconds?
seconds per question.
No, that's incorrect. Yeah,
30 seconds per question.
sure. You get 20 seconds. So
Are there 100 seconds in a minute?
no, you get 12 seconds per question.
Oh, 12 seconds.
Yeah,
okay.
for everyone checking the math at home. So and then we will discuss after. So don't worry, fear not. We will not miss the details. And I will start the timer as soon as I finish reading the first question. Green Pants, are you ready?
Yes.
What do you want to be in your next life?
Goku in Super Saiyan Ultra Instinct mode, or Clitoris.
What was your childhood nickname? Bring it around.
Milk. And low fat.
Okay. Did you ever have an imaginary friend growing up?
No, I did a lot of drugs, but I was never fucking crazy.
Got it. Is Lord of the Rings the best fantasy series book ever written?
Oh my god, no, not even close. Although it is the first. So it's very famous, even though Tolkien
Correct.
spends 7 pages describing a fucking willow tree.
Yes. What is the best nickname for a tambourine?
Bangle disc. No. Tam Bam.
Tam
Thigh slapping ring a dinger. Jangler. Jingle jangler.
You still give an answer, so
Jingle.
the jingle jingle, the thigh slapper.
Jingle
Yeah,
jingle.
all right, we're good. So you did good job. So you made it under time, which I think that's a record for you, honestly, which is really
Those are
amazing.
pretty easy questions.
Yeah.
I mean,
Softballs, a lot of
Lord of the
softballs.
Rings is a lot of, yeah, because
What is the best fantasy book series ever written? Let's start with that one.
I mean, yeah, I guess
Like
it's when you're
Wheel of
trying to say best.
Wheel of Time.
Like, yeah, it's absolutely not Robert Jordan
right.
because
You talk
because
about
the Wheel of Time,
exposition.
the Wheel of Time series is where you get into what was great about the Wheel is, as someone who reads a lot of fantasy books, one of the greatest articles that I ever read was I was on like the 5th or 6th book of Wheel of Time, and it was an article written that said, yes, it is okay to stop reading Wheel of Time. Because it was like, it's
Goes
just the
forever.
same, every book is the same story. And it just goes on and on.
Yes.
And Robert Jordan is ridiculously sexist.
Yes.
So the characters are so wooden and so like,
Yeah.
men are
Men are
bad
men,
and women,
women are women.
it's like,
Yeah.
it's so I Love Lucy type of like,
Let's see. I'm home.
so
Yeah.
and
for
that's
sure.
I couldn't even watch they tried to make a
I know.
Amazon version of or
I
the
know.
Apple whatever that
Didn't go
was.
well.
It was unwatchable.
Didn't go
Yeah,
well.
it's
It was
just
really bad.
it's
Okay. What else do
yeah.
we have? Do we have
Game of Thrones,
Game of Thrones?
I would say
Do we have
modern
Harry Potter?
fantasy.
We have Harry Potter.
Harry Potter's derivative horseshit.
I'm not gonna dispute that.
Written by a
Very few
transphobe.
original ideas in Harry Potter.
Right.
So what'd you say about
It's written by a lonely transphobe in a coffee shop.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Game of Thrones? Your opinion?
Game
The
of Thrones,
books.
excellent.
The
The
books.
books. The books are phenomenal.
Books I thought mediocre. Show good.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. I thought
I'm going with that
if
statement. Oh, and Solomon
I-
agrees with me. Solomon says Game of Thrones books are trash.
Really?
Yeah, that's
Because
what he says.
I enjoyed the books.
Does anyone else have opinions
well,
on this, by the way?
I think partially it's also because the books stopped, and after he never like book 6 and 7 haven't been written, and
Sure.
so it's I very much enjoyed reading the first ones, and I wanted to see what's next in the story, and he just never gave it, and I think that is why a lot of people don't like it. Because like if they had been able to actually keep the show following along, like the show was good while it followed the narrative of the books. Once it reached the end of the narrative
Yes.
that the books had,
Yes.
it completely fell apart.
Hey, R.
like,
R. Martin,
utterly.
please write faster. Right. Yes.
Right.
Agreed. Well, I don't know. I liked it. So we got some chat dialogue on this. So Zarquan liked it. Oh, gave up after book 4. Salmon as well gave up after book 4. Super J
Or,
loves Harry Potter.
Well, I mean, Harry Potter again is, to me, after I read book 4, I was like, okay, this is the same story every time.
Harry Potter?
It's the standard
Harry
British
Potter.
story of boy,
Who's special?
or
Is
boy
special.
or girl gets special boy has the parents get killed off.
Mysterious
like Roald
death.
Dahl loves to do
Yes.
that. So you have to Disneyfy it first. Kill the parents, as every good Disney movie does. You got to murder the parents.
The loving
Then-
parents. They gotta be the loving parents.
The loving parents who just aren't there, and then you have to like stick them in some very like ridiculous situation where they're being raised by evil step aunts or
Yes.
the Dursleys
Of course.
or whatever, and then make him be have sort of like a special skill set, and he has to be very innocent and almost perfectly good and have almost no character flaws whatsoever, and then you make that person, you put them in an area where there are a lot of grown-ups, and you make all the grown-ups make absolutely ridiculously stupid decisions over
Yes.
and over and not realize that the kids are always right every single time.
Right.
So what you do is you write the same story over and over again about some crazy bad
Wow.
thing happening, and the kids aren't allowed to find out, but they're the ones that, so of course, secretly
Sure.
actually foil all the plans,
And
and
they
then the
save
adults
the
are mad
day.
because they broke the rules,
Save
but
the
really
day,
without the
right.
kids, everyone would be fucking dead,
Right.
and let's move on. See you next summer.
Okay.
Like,
What is, so you're saying Game of Thrones is the best fantasy series ever written?
I did not say that.
Okay. What is the best fantasy series ever written?
I don't have it. I wouldn't. There are so many different types of high fantasy. Like I couldn't compare Lord of the Rings to Game of Thrones because they're very, very different. Like Game
Okay.
of Thrones is not all like elves and orcs and just like Bryan Sanderson, different from Robert Jordan. I mean,
Right.
I would say the Shannara series was actually one of the ones I enjoyed the most. Terry Brooks, the Sword of Shannara Elfstones of Shannara, Wish Song of
Okay.
Shannara.
Okay.
There's about 9 or 10 in there. Read all of those.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, and then you have David Eddings,
Yes.
you know, Piers Anthony.
Yes.
You know, that's all of the puns and that sort
Right.
of stuff. So you have the whole Xanth novels. You've
Right.
got
I enjoyed. I know it's very derivative of the role playing game, but I really enjoy Salvatore. I really enjoy the Drow Fritz series.
Yep.
I thought that was excellent.
so
I could almost hear the dice rolling.
With Lord of the Rings, I think it does get a lot of credit because it was
It was the first. Everything was derivative
You
from
know.
Lord of the Rings to some extent, right?
Right.
It was pioneering for its time. You have to acknowledge that aspect of it, but you also have to acknowledge that Tolkien was on acid when he wrote a lot of that.
Well,
Legitimate acid.
well, people also were doing laudanum and absinthe, and people were on all sorts of crazy shit back then in terms of just like what was legal and what wasn't. I mean,
Caution to the
Um,
wind. I really liked
but no,
that series.
but the
You
Harry,
yeah, go ahead.
my, yeah, my feelings on Harry Potter, I know are I had felt this way about Harry Potter after about book 4 or 5. Mrs. Greenpants very much disagrees with me, although now that the author of said material has been found out to be a kind of shitty person,
Right.
I don't
Yeah,
feel as bad
definitely a
anymore.
strike again. Yeah, you know, I get it. That's
But
fine. Oh, Zircon asked a good question. What is the what do we consider a series? I guess anything like 3 books or more. That series? I think
Yeah.
so, right?
because like in a like for sci-fi, like Dan Simmons' Ilium and Olympus
Sure,
duology
sure.
is like a really good, but like that wouldn't be like a series.
Series,
But yeah,
right.
I think there has to be 3 because
Where
3
you
is
where you create a world basically and then explore the adventures
Right.
in that world that follow certain protagonists through that world. I would think that. I think
and
a series.
because you have to world build, you have to create the rules of that universe and then stick to the rule. I mean, I think that's what really makes the best fantasy is like finding authors that will make the world and actually like stick to the rules within it that they give and not just make up stuff as plot devices, like, oh, the plot requires that magic happens now,
Right.
like as
Right.
if actually have characters with real stakes and those kind of things. That's what Game of Thrones does a good job because it kills people, like characters that you care about die, and that actually has emotional stakes to it. Whereas if you always know that in freaking Robert Jordan's books that that same idiot is going to be walking traveling through the lands for the next 12,000 pages, Rand, after about 4,000 pages of Rand, I was like, well, he's still the same doofus that he was, in book 1. And I read that article that said, it is okay. It does not get better. You can stop.
You can
reading.
stop. It's like you had
You don't
permission.
have to read all of
Your
the books.
permission
Because
to
then
stop.
Robert Jordan died, and then his son is doing
I
it,
know,
and then and they just keep.
goes
It's
on
like,
and on.
yeah.
Yeah, I like
Um,
the series I really enjoyed. I don't know if I'd call it the best. I had to think about it, but do you ever read the Belgaria?
Yeah, Belgariad. David
Yeah.
Eddings.
I really liked it.
Yep,
It's
I did too.
very I have very fond memories
It's-
of reading that.
And it's very flowing. It's very easy to kind
Yeah,
of to get through.
Yeah.
Piers Anthony's Xanth novels were similar, although that was more considered to be like
right.
funny, where David Eddings was a tiny bit more serious.
A
But
little bit, right. Yeah. It was
but yeah.
good. So there you go. So what was our
we
vote?
had- and-
What was our
yeah,
vote then?
Harris. Yeah, with like, yeah, because I don't. I mean, Harry Potter. You can like Harry Potter and all that, and I can appreciate it, but like, I don't. I think even the biggest fan has to would have to admit that it is highly derivative in that
It pulls from a
can
lot of different
explain-
sources.
but I mean, I can pull the exact plot from other books that were written better. And so, like, Roald Dahl to me is an author
Mhm.
that, like, James and the Giant Peach. That's all really Harry Potter. It's just it's a fantastical kind of
Sure.
journey.
I think it was more the details that made Harry Potter so popular, right? It was about like, oh, it's a view into a world where like, wizards actually exist and they play this game and she made up the rules for the game and you know what I mean? It's like all those little details that people got so hooked on, I think that made it very appealing.
Right.
Um,
I think part of it is that I am and this is why it's so hard to
That's true, Super
or
J.
difficult when you have your personal, like, your the artist versus the art,
Yes.
because
Yes.
I do find, just like we talked about with Tom
We
Cruise,
call it Woody
like,
Allen syndrome. Yes.
right. Whereas like I don't know if my distaste for Harry Potter now is solely
I see.
because of
I see.
J.K. Rowling's transphobia,
Check your bias.
or if it's only partially because of that.
I understand. I understand.
You know what I mean?
Yes, it's that's very
Because
good.
I read the first few books and I remember liking it and doing whatever, but by about book 7 or so, where I think I was like, oh, okay, I'm good.
Super J. So Insama, I'm sorry, I didn't get to your question before. Just fantasy we're talking about. I know sci-fi opens up a whole nother.
Oh, it's the
Discussion.
greatest sci-fi series. Yeah. Oh man, like, not Dune.
I was
Not
not
the
gonna,
greatest
I was not
sci-fi,
going to say
not
Dune. I know.
Dune. Revelation Space. Anything by Alistair Reynolds. Excellent. Adrian Tchaikovsky. Another excellent sci-fi author.
So Super J's asking how we read so many books so fast, an audiobook. The key, at least my key, is you get audiobook and you play at 2x speed, and you learn how to listen at 2x speed.
That is correct.
That's correct.
Well, I mean, it's what I naturally hear. Like, it's a very weird thing, but when I'm listening to a book at 2x speed, it sounds totally normal in my
Oh,
head.
does it?
But like, if it switches to a external speaker,
Yeah.
and someone else hears it, it's like, oh my god, it's going so
It
fast.
sounds like
because
nonsense, right?
It's yeah. So
I can't do it when. Oh, you've had that issue with Mr. Greenpants?
But I can. Well, no. The higher speed thing.
Yeah,
Because like, so when I listen to podcasts,
Right.
I take out also all of the pauses, and even like it actually just, so that way, like a
keeps-
podcast, which might be 50 minutes.
So like a verbal
Like-
diarrhea is what you want.
Right. Like, I would like to take our show and I could condense it into 8 minutes.
Right.
If we just took out all the pauses. Yeah, that is how, and it's also it's also because reading books requires you to generally not be doing something else unless
Right.
you're like riding in a car or something like
Right.
that. But like with the audiobooks, you can be cleaning the house, driving,
Although,
chopping down trees,
Yeah.
all of this stuff. And so any time that I am not doing work
mhm.
or some other activity, I am probably listening to a book.
Audiobook,
at
yeah,
that time.
yeah. I can't do, if I did the 2x speed, I can't. I typically try to multitask when I'm watching some kind of content. I'll do something else while I'm doing a thing. But when I'm 2x, I got to be like focused on the thing. I'm like, okay, got it. You know what I mean? It's like, and I'm not always up to doing that. Sometimes I am, but it depends.
I can do that as long as the thing is like folding laundry.
Mindless.
That is that
mindless.
is not, to me. I don't have to pay attention. But yes,
Right.
I could not listen to it on 2x speed.
Right.
At least my brain has to be focusing 100% on the
Yeah,
on the
I
audio
getcha.
to parse it all.
And someone raises a good point, which is sometimes I agree with, and sometimes I want to. So sometimes if they get like a particular voice actor to do the book reading, sometimes you want to get it as the actor is intoning and speaking the voice
absolutely.
at normal speed. You know what I mean? So that's absolutely a valid point.
Jim Dale's original Harry Potter stuff, absolute
Fantastic.
great voice actor. Or where they're putting in the pauses, anything the narrators that do Terry Pratchett novels.
Mhm.
It's so much better to listen to those on just normal speed, because there's music and and other things that they throw in there that you can get lost. But
Yep.
when you're just talking about straight up books, I listen to them at like the rate I probably would read them. So it feels about right in terms of number of hours. I just
Right.
don't have to.
Right. That's cool. Makes sense. So let's see. So we
because
talked about this one for a while.
I have to have constant stuff in my ear holes,
Oh,
or
I know.
else the bad
I know.
thoughts come back.
Yeah. No,
So,
you need things in a lot of your holes. I mean, the
right,
pegging
at all
conversation we had
time.
before.
I need to fall asleep with stuff going into my into
Some
into all
cavity
holes.
needs to be entering you at any time. Right. No, I get that. I hear what
And
you're saying.
remember, if there's an air pocket in there, it might
It'll make a
sound,
noise.
and
It could
and
happen.
it's not necessarily,
No, sorry.
it's nothing bad. It's just
Right.
it's just a natural
Right.
thing that happens.
A- Absolutely.
What was your
Absolutely.
childhood nickname? Did you have?
I don't think I did. I just got beat up. They didn't need to. I didn't have the dignity of a name. I just got beat up. So you were Milk,
Milk
huh?
I was Milk.
Yeah.
Milk, or just Casper,
Yeah.
Ghost.
You're very pale.
transparent.
You're very pale.
Uh,
You're pale, man.
very pale. Oh, this is
Very
also
pasty.
growing up in Southern California.
Or you should not be
which,
pale because the sun is out
well,
constantly.
also in the 80s, in the 1980s, in Southern California. I mean, it was essentially a gangland. I don't know if everyone knows that, but you know,
Gangland. No, I see.
it was the rough streets.
Were you
of,
a
of
Jet
Southern
or a
California.
Crip? Your preferred gang.
No, you. It's Crips and Bloods,
I'm
and the
sorry.
Jets and the Sharks. So you're mixing your
This
West
is-
Side
I
Story
am. I
with your
did.
real world gang violence. And you mixed up one of the most deadly real world gangs.
With the West Side Story.
And
When you're a
West Side
Jet.
Story.
When you're a Jet. I did
And
do
then-
that. Oh lordy.
And when you're a Crip, you're getting a tattoo for all
Tattoo
the people
the
that you killed.
tear.
The
Like
teardrops.
the Johnny Depp movie Crybaby. Remember that one? That was a classic.
Make sure you. Did you ever have an imaginary friend growing up?
I had okay, so this is gonna sound weird. So
Okay.
yes, but the imaginary friend was me from the future. So I used to dream
Oh,
that
okay.
I dreamed that me from the future used to come back and give my young self messages or like advice and guidance and messages. You know?
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And maybe that was actually happening. you know?
Maybe. Okay, wait, let me find out. Okay,
obviously haven't
okay.
reached-
Future imaginary friend,
haven't
if you
reached-
can hear me right now.
You have not reached the point in your timeline where you get access to a time machine
And
start
can
going
communicate
back
with
and
right.
telling
Right.
young Vanguard all of the, tips and tricks that he's
Not
learned.
the pressure
Like,
of that though,
you would
like
not have known to go down unless you had told
Correct.
your young self way back
But-
when.
dear
That's the secret.
lord, if there's only a single linear timeline, and if I get to that point, and if I don't go back and tell myself that shit, am I just gonna disappear? You know what the pressure is to be able to tell myself the exact same things that I heard when I was young?
No, otherwise you'd be entering a paradox. It has to happen.
Oh my
It's
god,
just, it's
get all
predetermined
Back
at
to the
this point.
Future on this.
Yeah. Otherwise, your photographs will start just
Fading.
It'll be the
That's
same
because that's how it
photograph,
works.
and it will just the people in the photograph will
Right.
just slowly fade.
Yes,
Because
yes.
that's science.
It's not physics, it's
Um,
plot device, is what that is.
It is.
Yeah,
It is plot
it's crazy.
device.
Anyway, all right. So yeah, and you did not have a childhood. You did not have an imaginary friend.
I did not have an
That's
imaginary
fine.
friend. I was
That's
always a
fine.
little bit confused by the imaginary friend because I mean
Yeah.
I had plenty of enemies, and I was way
Yeah.
too busy dealing with the enemies
Sure, sure.
than
Preach it, brother. Preach it.
Doing any world building where I was creating my own imaginary friend. I was
Yeah.
creating real life defenses.
Right. And then Tambourine nicknames
I
the
I
hip,
alwa-
the hip banger I think was one of the ones you had,
No,
right?
it's
Which I
the,
like.
it's been called the thigh slapper.
Thigh
But
slapper.
then
I
in
like
the
that
South,
one.
It's called a thigh slap and ring a ding, thigh slap and ring a dinger.
I like the
and
thigh
then-
slapper.
In some of the country western stuff, it's called the jangle disc.
It's reminiscent of
and
the
then-
Thigh Master.
And then I heard it called the jingler, a jangler.
A jingler.
And a
Jingle,
jingle
A jangle. A jingle jangle
Um,
jingle. A jangle.
Some people, and in Quebec they call it a bourrine. Or no, I'm sorry. In Louisiana, where I was born, they call it a bourrine because
Right.
it's because they're French and they have to
Sure. Gotta fuck everything up.
pronounce everything stupid.
I get it. French.
And
I think real
Tam Bam.
French. Tam Bam.
Yeah. Oh no, it's that's that Creole
Yeah, no, I know. Hybrid
know,
culture.
pigeon garbage. I was born in a garbage state.
I was basically born amongst
I was born
the
in a garbage
garbage.
state, yeah.
Yes, no, I get
Yeah.
it. I get it. It's fine. That's good.
I was moved around to various places in my childhood where I got beat up,
Yes.
and then the beating stopped in high school,
Yes.
and then
Right.
we moved on,
And then we were allowed to evolve. Now I get that.
and
I
then
get that.
that was great.
So let's see. That's pretty much everything. Oh, the next life. You said you want to be a clitoris, I believe, is the one I heard.
I
I don't know
said
if that's because I have
Goku
oral in the mind,
in
but
Super Saiyan Ultra Instinct mode,
oh, I
which
see.
I could be, or
I see. You want to be Goku
a clitoris.
or clitoris?
I-
Either
I'm-
Goku
like
or clitoris.
I'm just saying, I'm trying to go on. Think big, think small. That's all. Like
Which one's
you know,
which?
oh, I can tell you which one's which.
And whose clitoris would you be? Because it matters. What if you were a nun's clitoris, for example?
There is no one that uses their clitoris more than nuns. If you
Probably
don't believe
fair.
that nuns are getting
That's
off
probably
literally
fair.
always,
They are going-
they are probably the biggest
No,
single bulk
it's-
buyer of
I
sex
think
products
I think you're
ever
right.
is nunneries.
I think you're
I
right.
believe, yeah. That is
think you're right.
adamandeve.com. half of their profit comes strictly from the Catholic
Not
Church.
sponsoring this stream, anime.com, but we do advocate for their services. Yeah.
Right.
So no, I get
And we
it.
do not like to work with the Catholic
I
Church.
don't know what I want to be in the next life. I don't know. I think I'd like to live life as a woman. Just see what it's like. Especially now that the women have done all the hard work of, being able to vote and drive and get credit cards.
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies,
Well,
for
no,
that, by the way. Fantastic.
And thankfully everybody's equal now, and everything we got that
Not
straightened
quite.
out. All the right. No, it's all everybody. We're all.
Oh, is it?
All good now, right?
Is that what we've been told?
It's like,
yeah,
yeah,
I've been told. Yeah,
I think
no,
it's all,
no,
well,
no harm, no foul.
decisions
All's well.
made by the states, federal government, stay out of people's business.
Yeah.
You know,
Except
It's
for
all-
certain
it all-
things.
it all
Stay
works
in
out
their
in the
business
end.
for certain things. Yeah.
you know, the white guys.
Yeah. White guy.
No,
White guy
yeah,
privilege.
Yeah, no. I mean, everything works perfectly fine as long as you're a white guy.
Yeah.
But
As long as you're a white guy.
and if you're not,
Excuse me. Oh.
find a white guy. And,
At least you're a white guy.
and, it's almost like it's not set up to be fair.
Right.
And
Go figure. But even
and
with all that,
it's almost like there are some people who are unmotivated to change it.
go figure. Or other
know.
things matter to them more than basic equal rights for human beings, and that's their
Price of
choice.
eggs.
Like price of eggs.
Price of eggs is
Perish the
very,
thought the price of
very
eggs is too high. I know.
way
so
more important
so
than
important.
I ever knew. It's so
I
fucking
surprised myself as well. Myself
important.
also
It's so,
surprised.
it's more important than democracy. It's more important than
What's
wow.
democracy
I-
worth? Apparently, a carton of eggs. It was like
half a
would've thought-
dozen eggs, man. $4.
Would
That's
never
it.
have thought that. I
You
would
know
never have
what?
thought that.
Bodily autonomy. Fuck that.
Yeah.
I want those egg prices down.
Down.
I got some
Right.
eggs to consume.
That's right. Oh my lord.
yeah.
So yeah, I would come back as a woman still, despite all that. I would like to understand what it's like to live as a woman. I would like to understand what it's like to have multiple orgasms. I think that'd be fantastic. I would like how it would be like to have men go down on me and have multiple orgasms. Back to the oral conversation. I'm bringing it back.
But remember that the multiple orgasm thing is something that is rare even amongst women.
Okay, but it's still possible. Much more
Okay,
possible
yeah,
than for
absolutely.
men.
But there are lots of conversations among women that are like, you can have multiple orgasms and ones
Right.
that don't. Like,
And like,
they're-
I hate you, and then they beat each other up, right?
right. It's that same. It's just it is a thing that is.
I
Something
feel
we
like
can
if
do
I
and-
came back as a woman, I would be able to have multiple orgasms. I just have that gut
If
instinct.
you
to feel
came
them.
back as a woman, you would be defined by your orgasms. Would be like the entirely. I mean, yes, in this particular special situation, yeah, you're like
Like,
the exception that defines the rule. I mean,
Right,
yeah,
right,
it's actually
right.
yeah, you
Right.
you would just be one giant clitoris with a
Yes.
sign being like, "I'm here."
right.
Um,
I'm like a walking
uh,
clitoris, just like it touched. Oh my god! Yeah, it's like it's right there. Yeah. And Solomon says a multiple orgasm is possible for men. True. You can have what's called the dry orgasm as a man with proper
Yeah.
training and discipline. Not as fun in my opinion, but still good. But yeah, ejaculating multiple
be-
times within a quick succession is a difficult thing.
I mean, well, it's something that you can do. It's something that's very much tied to your virility to your age too. Like the things that I
Yes.
could do when I was 12
Yes.
that I had no ability to actually
Right. Act on.
like
Yeah.
my
exactly.
body was in a position to just for some reason why
The mind was
nature
willing.
wants it to be that when I am 13 years old, I can fuck a couch 10 times a day, but when you're 50,
Not
so much.
It's down to
I
two,
had-
it's down to 2 or 3.
I had no real reason to need to fuck that couch 10 to 15 times a day. Yet it happened, So,
Oh,
it's,
I
it's
think trying to think how crunchy the couch cushions were. My God.
listen,
Hey,
precautions were taken. And I don't know how you fuck a couch, but
Right.
clearly, you're. I mean, you raw dogging couches, man. Like, don't. I mean,
we are animals. We're
don't
just
raw,
we're
don't
just
raw dog your
we're
couch.
just
Get-
animals.
Just
Like,
get a banana peel, slide the banana out of it, warm it in the microwave, get that nice warm feeling, put it on your dick.
So
Then
those-
fuck the, come on.
yeah, fuck the
This is all
banana.
it-
No, I know. I get it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
come
that's
on.
great.
Standard stuff.
Oh,
All
so
unintended.
Super J brings up the counterpoint that being a woman sucks. Had a man berate me in a meeting tonight for no good reason. Men behaving badly. That is a sucky part of it. Super J, sorry you had to go through that. But
We are terrible. We often we actually had a whole question on mansplaining. We've done that on a previous. We had a question about the
let us explain in case it's unclear.
I'll explain.
See what I did there?
Super J, probably those men were just trying to help you, and they just wanted you to understand
bad.
that their point of view, because they probably never get listened to,
Right.
and they just want to be heard the first time. Someone, please.
Super J, F
Listen to
that
a white
guy.
guy.
F
I wish
that
I had
guy.
a voice.
You
I wish I had a voice.
Straight white guy.
Where is my voice?
Super J.
I don't.
I
I wish someone.
Where's my white guy?
I wish I had a platform that I could talk, and that I just had some way. That would be. I mean, imagine a world
Yeah,
where white guys had a voice.
could
Imagine.
actually be heard.
Yeah, it just. Woo.
Oh dear Lord. Super J, we love you. So I'm sorry you had to go
We
through
do love you,
that.
Super
F
J.
that guy.
Yes. F all those guys.
It's not about you. It's about him. He's probably got deep rooted issues, control issues that he needs to manifest by taking on someone that he hasn't, and try to exert authority over. So you're the unfortunate
He's
victim of
probably
that
going to
situation.
sleep tonight, actually, like thinking that
After
his
fucking a
manhood
couch.
was. Yeah. Well, no, fucking a couch is perfect. Okay, we'll come back to that. We can take that off air. There's nothing. His the whole reason he's even like yelling and all angry is probably because he's like pissed off that something challenged his manliness, or alternatively, a sports team that he likes
Did not perform
not
as well
win
as
their
expected.
ball game.
Yes.
and it is time to cry.
To rage and take
And,
it out on poor women
Yes.
and innocent women who have done nothing wrong.
Right. But that referee made a bad call.
Or Super J says he
yes.
may just have a small penis. Very possible and probable.
Yes. Well, that is I think that's just sort of objectively true, like with like just
Men who
math
do
works
that
out that
typically
way.
have small dicks.
yeah.
Yes. I think that's
like
statistically proven.
guys with
actually.
huge dicks don't bitch a lot
Right.
because they don't need to, because they have this huge swinging dick.
Right.
So they just kind of casually stroll in.
Just-
If you hear a guy being like, he's got that's how you know Trump has the tiniest little fucking mushroom penis.
Oh, you brought it back around
Because
again.
he's just anybody that blow hard like that, where it's just like, guys with a big swinging dick don't need to say it.
No need. Nothing to prove. Nothing to prove. Oh.
Yeah, I think we got through. I feel like we helped some people today.
Yeah, I think we did.
Um,
I think hopefully everybody got something out of this. Hopefully, all our
I know I
good
did.
friends. Yeah, no, absolutely, it was great. I think or update the. Yeah. So Erica, Grant, Shannon, Betsy, Helena. Hopefully, you guys got something out of this today. We
Yep.
wish nothing but the best for you to improve your situations.
If all of you got anything out of this, it would just be go down on more women. So I think that was kind of Vanguard's answer to all 5 questions. When it really came down to it, it really came down to cunnilingus and
Came down to oral.
the amount of it and the frequency
Right.
and the quality. Really,
Quality is important.
quality is important, right? Well, yeah, you can't. If you want to have quality, got to take the time, got to take
Understood.
effort.
It's a commitment.
Can't
It's a
have
commitment.
fast, cheap, and quality. It's like
Pick 2 of the 3, right? So the whole thing.
pick 2 of the 3. You want a fast and quick cunnilingus? You want a quality cunnilingus?
Yeah, Super J.
Vanguard's got 'em all for it.
Super J agrees that cunnilingus solves many problems. So, thank you, Super J. But there we go. So we're gonna sign off. It's time, and we kept you guys long enough. And it's we're gonna be here next Tuesday,
Next
9:30
30.
Eastern time. I'm not gonna give you the wrong time,
Daylight.
Green Pants, like I did last
Right.
time. Yes, that's right. We are now in
Eastern,
Eastern
because
standard
we-
time. We're standard time right now.
right. I want to stand on the Eastern, even though
Yes.
where we are is not necessarily within an Eastern time zone. Kind of just using it as a standard.
Yes. That's right.
Does not. But don't think that
UTC minus 5.
you figured anything out by by some clever deductions.
Right.
The time zone tells
There's
you nothing.
There's a calendar
Okay.
on the channel. Go look at the channel below.
Oh.
Also, the place where you submit the questions is right below Green Pants. So go check out below him. He will tell you. Yeah, that's where you click and submit a question, and we will answer it. If we get a lot of questions, but hopefully we'll be able to
We
get
get
to
to it.
questions.
And it's
We will
not
get to it.
just a giant string of the letters W, H, and Y out with question
We
marks.
get a
at the
lot
end.
of those these days.
We got a lot of those, and
A lot of despair from
the-
2 weeks ago. So we're working
lot of
through
despair.
those.
Yeah, there's
So.
a bit of a backlog of despair.
A bit.
There's quite there's an entire nation of backlog of despair. Actually, I think.
There is.
Yeah.
I'm glad our viewership is limited, so we actually can get to some anything. But Super J, we love you. We love you. Super J says she loves us, so we love her too.
Love her too.
Yeah, we love you all, and
We love
you know,
Insomniac.
Insomniac and Zarquan. Thank you guys for coming, and
Zarquan.
stopping by. We love you all. So thank you for coming. No news if you're there. We love you too. So, and we'll catch you next week. So until then, we're gonna sign off, and
We'll say good night.
I know the magic mirror from
and we're not
Romper
gonna
Room. We're gonna
end-
look, and I see Insomniac, and I see Zarquan.
What we're not going to do is we're not going to go goodbye.
Goodbye. So long.
No,
Goodwill.